3 connections? YouTube always takes a little while.
No connections.
No
I'm
connections.
just kidding.
Is the mic on that? Let me make sure. It's not muted.
How do you roll?
Just tap the screen.
Okay.
Microphone button.
Yep, you're good.
Not red.
It's not red.
It's white.
Okay, yep, perfect. So we are live.
Yep.
I'm live. We are live now.
We're live
now
now.
we are we. We are we now.
We are we.
What's going on, guys? I'm Jeremy.
I'm Macy.
This is LSH Live. We've been live this whole quarantine deal.
Yep.
Helping you guys be better riders. Been making videos on Patreon for about 2 years now.
Yep, it's on. Good.
Tons of videos on there. Perfect. Very good. We're going to try to have Kel block the wind today.
We're both going to bodyguard it.
We're going to bodyguard the wind today. Hopefully we can get that straightened out.
We are out in the pasture.
We are in the open field today. Just the open range.
We are. Hello, Lisa.
We're going to do some indirect turn stuff today. So we talked a lot about that in the LSH at night video. Talked about doing indirect turns, backing up that outside front.
Yep.
Right? Getting that outside front under control, because we saw if the outside front is out here, your horse can't get round. All right? So one of the first things that we worry about is, where are your shoulders? We want our shoulders to be backed up. We got to have our shoulders back to us. If they're out here and they're long, it doesn't work. Right?
He's a human.
So,
a human.
So we got to make sure that we get our outside front backed up. This horse is really bad to the right, better to the left. Needs a lot of these to the right. So we're going to do that with him.
Yay.
And hopefully we get...
Good question. Do you know why mine's broken? It's broken.
No, you're good. Don't matter. Awesome. Very good, Angela. Very good. So yes, it'll be indirect turns today. Because like this horse, hopefully we can see some good, bad, and ugly about how this starts.
He's never done it before, so it will
Yep.
be really, like, either really good or really, really bad.
Yep. Never once have I done it with him. So this will be more similar to what you guys run into with your horses. When you start teaching indirect turns, like we said, this horse has only been here for like 2 months.
Yep.
So
Has it been 2 months?
entering 2 months, yeah.
We have a
Drag strip apparently today.
We have a green car. Well, if you look back here, there's like really nice houses back here.
Yeah.
And there's this one really nice green car, and it goes by and squeezes wheels. It's been doing that like 6 times
That was a
now.
Mustang showing off with him.
Yeah, so if you guys hear it, that's because of the little drag car.
We got a drag strip behind us now
We
today
do.
for some reason. It's drag
He
day.
might be back. You'll see it. It's like bright neon green.
You'll see it and hear it, that's for sure. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about backing up that outside front, getting a leg under control, having that horse stand on that leg, because the longer he stands on that leg, the more we can shape around, right? So getting that leg under control is huge for us. It's where we start.
Yep.
Get those shoulders under control. This is gonna be, like we did backing up, which was both shoulders coming back to us evenly.
Okay.
Now we're gonna separate our shoulders so we get some split and some division between our front legs. So if counter cantering opens up your back end, then an indirect turn is gonna open up your front end. All right? So if we're saying that we can counter canter, we can make our back end swing open, we can push and catch our hips, this is gonna be a push and catch for your front end, basically,
Yep.
right? Perfect.
You want to start?
Yeah. Oh, and we will not be live tonight.
No, we will be live tonight. I have to study. I got an exam, another exam on Monday.
Yep.
I have a week left,
Yes.
and then I'm
Not
all
much time at all.
done.
Yep. So we will not be live tonight, but we will be live tomorrow announcing the winner of our giveaway.
Yep.
For the pair of Harris Spurs.
Yep.
These
Those
bad
are there.
boys.
Yep.
Perfect.
Alright.
All right, let's get started.
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck to me out in a pasture by myself today.
Yeah, for real. That'll be interesting.
And he's never been ridden out here, so we have a goal in mind of what we want, and we'll see what happens, right?
What you say?
So he's never been ridden out here, so we have a goal in mind of what we want to work on.
Oh
but
yeah, it might be ugly.
we always adapt, right? Always be flexible, you never know.
I should go get that after the Amish supplement that we were gonna show him.
Oh yeah, you should.
Well, let me go get it real quick.
Okay. All right, so first things first, we're gonna start out, warm this horse up, make sure his shoulders are back with us, kind of just check in, make sure that all of our hard work over the last couple weeks has been paying off, and we're right where we left off, right? I'm gonna try to find a level place to ride here. So I like how he's staying down on my neck today, right? Staying down on my hands really nice. He's up on my spurs. So today, maybe one of the first days that I've noticed that he's on my calves, all right? So we talked before about drawing lines on our horses. I noticed a lot of horse right here today and not so much on my spurs. So I like that feeling a lot, that his belly is not hanging down below my feet today. That's a difference for this horse. Vastly different than I've had in the last few days. We've always feeling. Unusual for him. He doesn't usually lift his belly up to me like that. So now I feel like I can get my shanks involved, I can get my calves involved, and I can be bringing his belly up to me. That's a good feeling. Okay? That's gonna be all the work we've been putting in so far, hitting this horse round underneath of us, getting him to not run away from our feet. Remember before we went to our spurs on this horse, he would surge forward. This is very, very much improved. Really like that. Really like that. So we're here. Gonna back him off, so I'll check my shoulder button right here. Shoulders to me, shoulders to me. Or this horse is very pushy, so that's why we're gonna do the indirect turns today, okay? I'm not gonna start those right off the bat. Always gonna check things he knows first before I try to teach him new things, okay? So first thing we're gonna do, just warm him up, trot him out.
I knew I was right. It is relink.
Is it relink? There you go.
Should I show me real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is the, here, can you guys see this?
Yep.
So it's the relink. We talked about it in...
One of our night streams, the joint supplement we're trying on Peanut.
Yeah, and it's supposed to help with like OCDs, right?
Supposed to, yeah.
It's supposed to help like with OCDs and like bone sores and stuff.
Arthritis, yeah.
And arthritis and stuff. So, we got it from the Amish, right?
Yeah, my dad got it from an Amish.
Yeah, his dad got it from an Amish guy. So if your horse has like OCDs or just kind of sore or anything, this is a really good supplement for it. So a couple people messaged me.
I don't know enough about it yet to say whether it's, well, I take that back. Don't say it's a really good supplement for it yet, because we don't know enough about it yet.
Oh, yeah, we don't know much about it yet.
But it's something we are trying. So if
yeah.
you guys want to try it,
It takes like 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks.
4 or 6 weeks to see a difference. So we've been doing it with Peanut. So if you guys ever heard about it, let me know.
Yeah, if you guys have experience with it, I'm curious. So we're testing it out.
It is a beautiful day. It is really nice out. It's just so windy.
40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's the only problem.
It's super windy. It does look nicer than the other day. Last time we did it, it was
nicer than snow.
It was snowing.
Nicer than snowing, for sure.
All right, continue.
All right, so he loped off right there. We're gonna shut that down. Bring these shoulders back to us, right here. So I'm trying to do those circles that you saw Macy doing with Peanut, right? Where we're trotting that circle, standing these shoulders up, get him up and on my left spur, keeping him from falling over to the right. He can't tip over to the right. I want to be able to kind of press my left foot, have him come up and around. I don't want him to lope off for sure. And what I'd really like to see is I'd like to see him get a little more rhythmic behind. So he's a little bit bigger stepping up front, kind of short and choppy behind. Again, it's every maneuver I can do to make him work off his back end.
Do you know who manufactures this supplement?
It'll say on there.
Oh, Elite Nutrients.
Oop.
Elite Nutrients. LLC. Do you know that company?
Ooh.
Elite Nutrients.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's right here if you guys want it. See, we don't know if it 100% works yet, but he's like, the Amish guy said he's like, what for what?
It was like 6 or 7 for 7 in vet confirmed, x-ray confirmed, fixing arthritis.
Yep. So.
For what that's worth.
Yeah, so we're trying it. Yep. Where's the sandering? It's too windy.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go out to pasture today, because like there's a building behind us, so it'll help block the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bonnie.
So right here, testing out. Did you find the link?
She's looking for right now.
Oh, perfect. I'll say, I know if there's anybody that's gonna be on it, it's gonna be Bonnie. Perfect. So right here, just making this run and work up and around my back end. Running around my back end. Gonna go back the other way. So I got a lot of forward, a lot of push right here. We're gonna shut that down. Remember, we're always working, always aware of, is this horse leaning forward? Right? Is he leaning on us? Go ahead.
Chad said OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Is that the same for horses? I mean, obsessive compulsive disorder is the same for horses. No, it's not.
No.
Nope. Your place is gorgeous. It is nice.
It is nice, yes.
It is really nice. All right, I'll stop interrupting you. Continue.
So we're here. Just always checking. Like, I mean, you can talk to them while I do this. It's the same warm up they've seen, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So just checking, and you can see me, like, I'll shut him down every now and then. He gets leaning out too far. Like right here, he's just kind of falling down through that. I'll shut it down, back it up, turn it, get him on my spur where I want him. And we'll trot up again. So you guys can kind of see, there he loped off, wrong. You guys can kind of see what my practice would be, how my ride would go on him. working this horse's belly up to me, working his body up. Not letting him leak out, not letting him pull on me, right? But see how I'm tight rein right here? Keeping my reins tight lets me feel whether he's leaning on me. Go ahead.
This horse has been with us for 2 months, right?
2 months, yep. Not very long.
He's 8 years old.
Yep.
And then, is this something you teach your young horses about this time?
100%.
Yep.
Yep.
So we teach our young horses this from the get-go, really.
Yep. So this is, like, my young horses especially are gonna learn this part, for sure, right? So trotting around, putting my feet on, getting this horse a guide between my hands and my feet. That's always, right? The more backing and stopping and turning, that's gonna be more like 90, 120 days stuff. So I'm gonna get a good forward first in my horse before I start backing him off much. Right? That's something for you guys to really pay attention to. When you're riding at home and you're starting your young horses, make sure you have a lot of forward first, because forward is gonna create correctness in your horse. It's gonna help you stay safe, all right? I'm rarely scared of a horse that goes forward on me, okay? If he starts backing and doesn't wanna go forward, then I start getting nervous about something bad happening, okay? So always be aware of that. So right off the get-go, probably 60 days into it, we're taking our horse, we're trotting this circle, we're coming around, I'll shorten this up, make sure he doesn't pull on my hands too much. So when I bring my elbows to me, right, take my hands from here, we talked about locking those elbows out, right? So here, my elbows are locked out, my arms are straight. When I bend my elbows, that's when his shoulders should be coming up and around. So right here, bend my elbows, he should come up and around, right? And you want the ability to do that, because I want to talk to his shoulders right here. Okay, so I want to feel like his shoulders come up and around. I can set him down, he goes back out, pick his shoulders up, turn, do lots of maneuvers with those shoulders, okay?
Lisa said, so basically we can go back and correct things even on older horses?
Always.
Yep, this horse is older. Dubs was 12.
Yep.
And we're teaching him all new different things.
Yep, yep. Because what you have to think of is the vast majority of your problems that you run into with your horses are fundamental issues, right? Go back to your fundamentals, go back to your foundation and fix that hole that might be happening there, right? Because I could lope him around and I go, okay, I could pick at his lope for a long time, but my problem doesn't exist at my lope. My problem exists right here in his foundation where I put my spur on and he doesn't do what I asked him to do, all right? So remember that when you're riding, that's something that'll stick with you always, where if I put my spur on and he doesn't do what I want him to do, it doesn't matter right now whether I'm walking, jogging, loping, whatever, he's doing the wrong thing off my foot. So I gotta back up and make sure he knows to come like this when my spurs come in. Because right now he kind of goes out here, all right? So we're gonna use this, like my warm up right there, and the indirect turn that we're gonna do to help him understand why he's gotta stay up and back all the time, all right? So we're just refining what our button is on our spurs. Because if your spurs don't do to him what you think they do, then you're gonna have a problem. And that's where usually the disconnect lies, all right? Because we go, well, I'm gonna go to my spurs, my horse is gonna round up and lift his belly. But it doesn't mean that to him, all right? So no matter how hard you go to your feet, if it doesn't mean that to him, it's not gonna matter, which usually is the problem that I see. Like most people understand, well, I wanna go to my spurs, and I want my horse to not go forward, and I want to lift up, but your horse doesn't understand that. So we gotta teach him that, okay? So that way you and him understand what's supposed to happen. So I'm going along and I know what's supposed to happen on my feet, but he doesn't. So when I come around and I start trotting him, and I come up, and I put my spur on, see, he goes out there. He goes loping out here, which is wrong. So we gotta go back to our foundation and say, no, when my left leg comes on, you come up and back here, and you stay back with me, right? That's gonna be 90, turn, back, 2 steps, 90, back, 2 steps, 90, until I can go to my foot without my hand. See, I'm not dragging him across there. He stays right here with me, right? So this is what you're looking for, the ability to go to your foot, and then I can use my hands independently and drop his neck down and turn, bring his chin up and turn, right? Do lots of different things with my foot because my leg is meaning come up and back now. See, if I don't need my hands, I can draw him into the turn right here, set him down. He's not gonna leak out because I got my left foot on there. Draw him into the turn, set him down. Draw him into the turn, set him down. He's not gonna leak out. We said, dude, if you leak out, if you go that way when I got my foot on, we're gonna back you off, all right? So see the difference there. Good, good.
Kimberly said, would you alter the size of the circle or techniques if you had a more for a young horse, like a hunt seater?
100%. Yep. So depending on how broke my horse is, that's going to determine what area I work in. All right. So if my horse is not very broke, or he's a bigger horse, I got to work in a bigger area. All right. And you're going to let your horse tell you what kind of area you can work in. What I'm telling you guys is, if you ride, just make sure you ride soft. All right. When I pick up and I go like this, I want this horse to come across here. That's just laying that rein on his neck. All right. So if you have to pull and lean and do this to get around there, you're trying to operate in too small of an area. Right? You're trying to be in too small of a space. So give him more room so that he can make that turn. And what it might be is I'll go here, like I'll trot out, and I'm trotting along, and I go to turn right here. And if he's heavy, I might have to stop, back him off my hands, teach him what that means, back him off my hands, teach him what that means, try again, straight, and then turn again, until he can turn and be light in his shoulders on his own, right here. So now he's really light in his shoulders. Then I don't have to press across there very hard at all, and he just comes up and around, right? So right here, that's what I want to see. So that's what I'm looking for, is a horse that stays really light in his shoulders. So see, like he didn't pull on me to stop right there. His back up is decently light. I'm gonna turn this way, I'll work this side, the back. And see, that's the difference between, like when I go to my hands and my feet, I'm just laying this spur and his calf against his side. I'm laying this rein against his neck, and that's what's giving me the turn. Let him tell you whether it doesn't turn him because he doesn't shift his weight to his back end by leaking forward. But
what's a good budget-friendly work saddle?
Budget-friendly work saddle.
I'm trying to think.
Probably an RS or a Steve Flick.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep. My Steve Flick, I think they're, like, I think when I bought it, it was like $1,200. It's not a saddle that you're gonna get a lot of longevity out of if you're riding every day, all day. But I would imagine for the average owner that's gonna put one ride a day in, that saddle would probably last him a long time.
Yep.
What I noticed with it personally is that my stirrup leather was kind of cheap, it was kind of thin, and it stretched out really hard. So I replaced the fenders on it twice in 2 years.
Yeah,
So
but you ride like a lot of horses.
But yeah,
You
we ride a
horses,
lot.
yeah.
So I would imagine for the average owner, it's got a decent seat, decent tree to it, and it's a little cheaper in. Yep.
Yeah, I would say the RS stuff.
RS, yep.
How much is a winger?
They're close to.
I think a winger was like $1,200, right?
Like $1,200, yeah.
I think if you we had my name put in it though. I wonder if you could just buy one.
Yeah.
How much it would cost?
Or look for used.
RS from the Paul Taylor.
I don't know. I don't know who makes them. I'll have to find it.
I'm not quite sure. I can look it up real quick.
They're super lightweight though. The Flick feels like a show saddle, like a work saddle, like a good quality Harris saddle. It's heavy like that, so that's why I like it. Because they don't want to put like an RS on one that's super light and then put your big heavy show saddle on one, because it's going to ride very different, right? For you and your horse. Good.
People say they love their Billy Cook rough out. We had a Billy Cook.
They're okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
they
then
tend to sit kind of high, like up here, high pommel, high cantle. I don't like that.
you don't like that?
I don't want to be like in a pocket like that.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Sarah said, does being light in his shoulders automatically mean he's engaging his hind end?
It should, yeah, because if he's light in his shoulders, he's got more weight back here, all right? What you'll find is when your horse is heavy in his shoulders, he's either got a lot out here or a lot of weight right here. And either one of those is going to be pulling him that way, right? So if he's light in my hands and light off my aids, then I can just lay this rein on his neck and he'll turn, or lay this leg against his side and he'll turn. Then he's got his weight back here, so he's automatically going to be building muscle back there where we want it. If you go to turn him and he doesn't come up and back and around, right? Because there's a big difference. If he doesn't come up and back and around, then he's got his weight up front. So I'll show you the difference in these turns, a forward, low, long turn versus an up and around turn, right? And the biggest difference is going to be what you see out of my arms in this horse, all right? So if I leave him long and low like this, if I trot him around, and I let him just out here, see how he's falling right here? He's just falling down through the turn, right? He's not pivoting around his back end, and you're not gonna get much crossover of his front feet. Do you see that? So I'm not making him stand in his back end and cross his front legs over. So what I would do instead is say, hey, let's bring these shoulders up and back, and look at the difference already. Now I gotta push him on. I gotta push him up a little bit, right? We wanna make a horse, we gotta push up. So now, bringing my shoulders back, my front end's making a smaller circle than my back end. That's gonna make him have to stand up and use his butt. So I want him rocking his weight over his back end. So figure every time I turn like that, I'm trotting around here, I'm saying hold it on your own, and then I'm gonna say, hey, let's rock up and over our butt, right? So see me open up, kind of lean back over my hips, right here. Say lean back over your hips, make him turn over his butt, set him down. Lean back over your hips, turn over his butt, set him down. Whoa, okay, okay.
Keegan said, what's your advice to a 2-year-old who likes to run into his lope? And do you like doing square corner exercises?
Well, the first one was 2-year-old likes to run into his lope.
Yep, and
Second
then
one was what?
do you like doing square corner exercises?
I do, yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing right there, is taking that, it's not necessarily a square corner. I'm not looking for a square corner, it will become a square corner. The lighter my horse gets, right? So the lighter he gets, the more that will become a square corner, but I don't want you to think of like, oh, I gotta turn this into a square corner, because I think when you start thinking like that, you're gonna start dragging him around that corner a little more, all right? The key to it is that I'm light with my hands and light with my foot, all right? That I wanna be really light with my aids, and if he's light in his shoulders, then he will turn, all right? So keeping that in mind. And then for the 2-year-old that likes to trot into his lope offs, you're gonna work on creating a lift out of your horse, right? Making the horse lift up. In the meantime, what you're gonna do is like decide what is the baseline that my horse can operate at. If it takes him a full circle to lope off, I'm gonna work on getting that lope off done in 3/4 of a circle. If it takes him 3/4 of a circle, I'm gonna work on getting it done in a half circle, all right? We wanna avoid running into the lope off as much as possible. I think a lot of that comes from their lunge line work that they learn to pop up right away. And then what it'll be is you just have to think that in order to make the transition happen, he's gotta lift his body up. So all it means is that your transition is happening somewhere out there instead of somewhere under here. He doesn't lift up to it, right? So every transition I do is gonna be holding my outside aids and bouncing my seat and using my inside, all right? So if I come through here and I'm trotting this horse, I'm trotting him around, I wanna make sure I get my feet on. So close my legs up on him, make sure he doesn't fall over. So he's tipping over, so I'm gonna push him out, and then come around here, make sure he stays square with my left spur on there, right leg on, hand open to the right, tipping him over to the right, and then lope up, all right? And I wanna lope him up through that. So I waited to lope off. If he had run into it, I might shut him down, try to set him up again, say, hey, you gotta get your body up. Okay, so I do a maneuver. If he goes beyond what I think is acceptable, I'll do a maneuver and I'll try again, all right? So just do a turn, a back, a stop, whatever, do a maneuver, and then try again. Until you can lope up like that. That's what we want, all right? So whatever it takes to get you to that point, right? And it's just gonna be chipping away at it. So if I'm going around, one day it might take me a full circle to get my lope. The next day it might take me 3/4 of a circle. In 3 days it might take me half a circle until you're going very few trot steps to get that lope off, all right? So we wanna avoid a man-made problem in the first place, which is we've allowed our horse to go that way for a transition. Remember, all changes of gears are up transitions, all right? So make sure he's coming up in his body, and then starting with a more talented individual that doesn't have that automatically, all right? So there are horses that in the pasture can go from a slow jog to a quick lope, right? They just pop right up into it. And that's a horse I'm looking for. That's a natural talent that I want in a horse, that he can lift his body like that right out of the bat, right? Go ahead.
What are some of your other go-to exercises to engage the back end, build muscle in the butt for an older broke horse?
Anything you can do to make him work off his butt, right? Anything you can do to take him and get him to rock over his hips, okay? So like that would be those pirouette type maneuvers, counter canters, all that stuff. Everything that we're doing on this channel, right? To rock them over their hips and get them using their body easier and better. That's what all this is about, okay? So now that this horse is warmed up, we'll get into the indirect turns, okay? So what it's gonna be, the difference between direct turn and indirect turn, okay? Direct turn, he gets to look where he's going, right? and I'm looking for this hind end to back up, all right? So if I'm turning left, I'm looking for this left hind to back up. So I'm gonna come here, walking forward, direct turn looks like this. Neck left, everything left, okay? So I'm setting his neck a little bit to the left. I'm looking for this left hind to back his way through, right? He should have all of his weight back here, right? So that's direct turn. Indirect turn then is gonna be the opposite way to the lead that I'm gonna pick up afterwards, okay? So if I'm gonna go left lead, this is gonna be a right turn, all right? So remember, I set up my ride so I work left for a while, then I take a break, then I work right for a while, okay? Then I might take a break, then work left for a while. I'm not gonna go work left and right and left and right, because I think my horse gets confused then. So what I wanna do is I wanna say, okay, we're on this horse, we've been sitting here, we've been going to the right for a little bit, it's time to go to the left. So I'm gonna work him, indirect turn's gonna be right here, turn right, like this, right turn, and then it would be left lead out, all right? Right turn, left lead out. So I'll show you that again. This is a right turn with his neck to the left, right here, right turn, left lead out, all right? And what you're looking for in this maneuver is this leg to step up and back, right? So if I'm turning right, I want my right front to step up and back, and I want my left front to be able to swing around in front of it, all right? Good?
Lisa said, what about when your horse is super pissed about leg and spur?
Be softer and go back to your fundamentals, right? So if your horse is pissed about your legs and spur, we want to make sure that we are not contributing to that by being aggressive, right? The only way you're going to get your horse to accept your feet is by being really soft. That's it, right? By being really soft and being firm once you're there. So as long as you understand what you're supposed to do, like I'm going to lay my calf on there, lay my spur on. My spur is firmly in his side. He's not going to know what he's supposed to do, right? He's doing a good job here. He's got a decent turn. So I can make this a little harder for him by drawing him a little harder into it. He's gonna get frustrated, right? But you've seen, like, we're working with those horses, I'm not gonna let him run from my feet. If he goes to run, or he gets cranky or tries to bite my leg, I'm just gonna stay in with my leg. I'm not gonna spur harder, I'm not gonna be more aggressive. He's already told me I don't like it and it's hard. So there's no need to increase the difficulty level by getting more aggressive, right? So keep that in mind when you're riding. It's not about asking more aggressively when your horse doesn't understand. And him biting you or getting frustrated is him telling you I don't understand, right? So I'm gonna come in soft and slow. I'm gonna get 1 or 2 steps like that, and I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna pet it, right? Now he walked off, right? He wandered away. So we're gonna say, no, back here, give me your shoulders there. And let's try again. Let's do another turn right here and set him down. He wandered away. So we're gonna back him off, and we're gonna try again. Right here. And we're gonna say, do you wander away? No, good, very good, right? Now give him a chance. And by doing this right here, you will avoid, got blocked the other side of that mic, guys. This side, wind's blowing this one, there you go. If you set him down, you do these, right? You're gonna reward him for not blowing up. It's gonna take a lot of the fight away, all right? So take a lot of the fight away from him by rewarding him when he gets it right. And then just ask again. I think a lot of frustration in horses when it comes to their feet and their sides and your buttons comes from us rushing them as riders, right? We're not taking this one step at a time and teaching him. We're going, you should know how to do this. You need to get over there, right? And we're doing these and sawing at him, right? And that's not a good way to ride for any horse. Now, I don't blame him for being frustrated and upset about it, okay? Go ahead.
Feet off when stopping and backing.
Yep, 100%. So always feet off, because I want his shoulders, right? I want his shoulders right here. Give me your shoulders. Give me your shoulders, all right? So that's how I want it to be. Anytime I bend my elbows and I bring my elbows back to me like this, I want his shoulders standing up. I want him kind of hesitating and think forward, all right? Because then I'll add my feet later to pick his belly up. So I'll try to do that right now. Here's back normal, feet out, right? Feet out, back normal. This is bring me your shoulders. Nothing round about that, right? Nothing round about that backup. But if I bring my spurs in right here, I'm gonna go back him up. So back and now bring my feet in. That's what I'm looking for, right? And you can see his hind end pick up a little bit right there, right? I'll do that again so you can see it. Now I got out. He should be a little sharper. So right here, we're gonna back up, start. Now lift my belly right in there. Can you see the difference, Mace?
Yep.
Yep. So then I can trot back up. And I can really work this horse onto his butt right here and make him pick his belly up by repeating this maneuver a little bit. And you'll see him start to get a little more lift. Through step and start to work off his back end. Right? So he loped off, he's gonna get trouble for that. Good. 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 Back. And I can just kind of work him up like this and say, get your belly up, right? Get your back end up and just repeat this process. Because watch what's gonna happen at the end. I'm gonna preach down and pet him. He's gonna lick and chew because he's working right now, right? I'm in his head. That's what I want. Woo, there it is. There's my back end coming up. That's what I was waiting for, right? So that's my back end up, just not forward, okay? That's what we're looking for. Now I want his back end coming up, so we're gonna get some of that. Okay, we're gonna back him off, and I can kind of work inside this horse's head a little bit. Okay. Not loping, but see, like you can give him a workout like this. Good boy. Woo. Now reach down, pet him. He can lick and chew. Take a big puff, lick and chew. Right? That's what I want. That's a workout for our horse, right there. Right? So always keep in mind, you can give your horse a workout as long as you go, "Ooh, that was tough. That was a tough workout." Right? Just remember, it's like when we were learning sports when we were kids, right? Your coach is going to give you a hard workout. You are the coach. Give him a hard workout and then say, "Wow, you guys did great today." Right? Every maneuver you do, say, "Wow, that was tough. That was real hard. You did great." All right? The more you do this, the better your horse understands. It's not the end of the world if he doesn't understand, right? Like he messed up. I just got to do more of it. That's all. He just missed it. That's all. Okay, go ahead.
Basic cues for transition, as in how exactly are you asking for walk, jog, transition, and lope transition?
Cluck to jog, kiss to lope.
Yep.
Right? Cluck to jog, kiss to lope. But the bigger thing about that is there's position that goes along with it. Right? There's position. So as we get more advanced, we get more particular about the position that he's in. When I lope off, I'm looking for that hip slightly to the inside. When I jog off, I want him to be really straight. All right? So what I want my horses to be able to do, and what I want my riders to be able to do, is press the clutch. All right? Be able to push the clutch in right here by squeezing both spurs to lift their belly. If you can't lift his belly up, then we're going to run into problems, right? Because he's going to be going out that way. So my spurs coming in, I want to create a horse and rider that understand when I go to do a transition, we want to make sure that we are firmly in his belly, and all transitions happen from here. All right? All transitions happen from right here, and then I bounce and cluck or bounce and kiss. But I'm going to keep my spurs dug up in there through every transition in the beginning. All right? And all the way through. So when we go to show, there's not going to be a transition that I don't do, like even in a class. I'm going to bring both spurs in, I'm going to make some position, and then I'm going to give him a command. So I want both spurs firmly in this horse's belly. I want to be in contact with his ribs so I know whether he's down or up, and then I'm going to ask my transition. Go ahead.
When they fling their head out, do you just ignore it?
Yep. All that is telling me I didn't have myself in the right spot. Okay? So remember, I'm not going to let him dictate my lesson. So if I ride around and I keep reacting to him flipping his head up at me, then I'm forgetting what it is I was trying to do. All right? I know that the majority of the time that this head flips, it's because these shoulders got trapped up, or he locked his belly down, or he fell in his rib cage, right? That his back was down. He can't elevate this if this is up, right? So if he's using this muscle right here, he can't flip this upside down. So if he's gonna flip his head upside down, I'm just gonna stay in, right? I'm gonna stay right here. Like I'll put him right here. He's gonna turn upside down. He's gonna miss this and lose it. So he's not turning. I'm just gonna stay. He's gonna pick his head up. I have more to do, right? I just have a lot more buttons to do, a lot more repetition to do here, okay? So it's gonna be right there. I'll come back over here, right? So I'm just gonna make sure that I do more of this button right here to where his neck starts to stay down, right? That he can keep his neck down and do this maneuver, all right? So it just means I got more to do. I'm never like, he's gonna flip his head, he's gonna stomp on his feet, he's gonna run through me. Just means I gotta get his weight up and back more, okay? So he's just gotta be here more, learn how to do these maneuvers, right? And you see him winging his legs around, he doesn't know where to go. Like I got a head flip right there. Back 1 or 2 steps, go back to my turn. Back 1 or 2 steps, go back to my turn. Right?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Lots and lots and lots of
Block
this.
the mic.
Where like come here, back a couple steps, turn.
Sorry guys, we don't have our gimbal today, so we're on a tripod, and it's hard to track Jeremy riding this thing.
So here, back, here, turn. Here, back, here, turn. And see how his neck is coming down? Look, I didn't chop at his neck, it's just down now, you know? Like I didn't have to beat up his neck. What?
I was like, I gotta read these questions, but I have to do that.
Okay.
What's the easiest way to know when you're loping / jogging to know when his shoulders are up or withers are up? I'm so guilty of watching ears.
Yeah, don't watch your ears. Have a hold of his face. Take a hold of his face, right? So if you're loping along, like, or take a video and send it to us. We'll tell you, right? The biggest way to tell is put him on a loose rein, right? Either take a hold and feel like, is he up and back to me? Like, is he pulling on my hands? Or is his face really soft, right? If he can come in, like be loping along and just come in like this, his legs don't shut down, then he's really soft and his shoulders aren't pushing on you. But if you go like this and he leans on you, his shoulders are pulling out, right? Or send a video in and we'll go over it in one of our night sessions.
Yep.
Right?
So even when you're finished show horses and you're showing, you still cluck and kiss in the class?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, right? The judge is never gonna deduct you for talking to your horse, ever. And I don't know where that rumor started, right? Maybe there was a judge that said that, like I don't wanna hear people cluck and kiss. But I look at that and I go, you know what? If I lose half a point for clucking or kissing, right? If I lose half a point for clucking or kissing, what would the deduction be if my transition wasn't good, right? If I didn't have my feet in and not give him a command. If my horse can nail that transition, then great. But I look at it and I go, okay, if I don't give that horse a command and they call for a jog and I put my feet in and he lopes because I'm trying to stay silent, how many point deduction is that? You know, like what is the difference? If I kiss to him, when I bring my feet in, I can bring my spurs in, set this horse up, excuse me,
Dusty.
set this horse up, bring my spurs in, and prepare him for a great transition. Or if I'm trying to stay really quiet, I bring my spurs in and he lopes off instead of jogging. How many point deduction is that versus kissing, right? To me, if I lope when I'm supposed to be jogging because I'm trying to stay quiet, I lose the class 100% guaranteed. If the judge that I'm showing to decides, I don't like it when people talk to their horses, and I lose half a point and I go from second to third, I'll take it, right? But I'll tell you the majority of judges, A, they can't hear you, right? And B, it's not a deduction anyway. So I don't know where that rumor started from, but I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yep. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so what you'll find is the more you do with your horse, the more you work on just shuffling him down, right? The better he's gonna be in his shoulders. So like when he comes across here now, doing my indirect turn back this way, right? He can do a turn now with his neck down. It's much better, right? So I'll come here, I'm gonna back up, I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna back up, I'm gonna turn, and notice how my turn is coming completely out of my foot, right? When you go to do indirect turns, this turn's gonna come mostly out of your spur, right? He leaned forward and walked off right there. That turn's coming mostly out of my foot. Don't bring your hand over his neck to do this. Look at his head flip around now. Now he's lost, right? And all I did was bring my hand over his neck. He doesn't know where to go now, right? So keep that in mind when you go to do this. Don't go over his neck, because you're just messing him up then, right? So I'll come here, I'm gonna back up, I'm gonna turn, keep that hand right here along my thigh. I'm gonna back, I'm gonna turn, come off my right spur, cross those legs up. He's missing it, right? So I'm gonna back, I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna back, I'm gonna turn. He tripped, so he's got too much weight in his front end. There it is, right? Too much weight in his front end. He's getting frustrated. So I'm gonna say, hey, just stick with the maneuver. Just stay here, think your way through. See how I don't get more aggressive when he pops his way over. There. Let him think his way through. I want him careful, and now he's stepping his left front out. He's crossing his right under. There. Now he walked away. Wrong. Back him up. Try again. But see, if I'm taking my time, I can get this kind of repetition in. If I'm rushing him and I make him frustrated and I get angry at him being frustrated, then I'm not being a very good teacher, and I'm not going to be able to get the practice in that I'm going to need to get good at this. Right? So he's walking away. I got to get here, keep him up and back to me. There. Now stay here. Attaboy. Very good.
Sarah said, I have a horse that falls in when I'm jogging and loping. Would doing these turns help? Will we do indirect or direct?
Indirect, all right? Because I want to stay, like if I'm working my right side.
She said, when do you do a direct and an indirect? That's hard.
So
when do you do a direct and an indirect?
Yeah.
So when I do this, I'm going to come through, I'm going to do direct turns when my horse is too far over this way. So if I'm working, let me show you what a typical workout would look like, all right?
Okay, one
so
second. Let me fix
remember, it's all about opposites. If I'm coming along and I'm riding my horse, I'm loping my circle. If he ends up on this side of the circle and he falls down over here, I'm going to do an indirect turn. If he ends up on this side of the circle and he drifts out over here, I'm going to do a direct turn, okay? It's going to be some mixture of both. What are you guys trying to do?
This thing is like stuck right here, and it's hard to like follow you when you're riding.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that's better.
All right.
We need to charge our
We
need to charge our gimbal.
I'm going to try to work right here.
Perfect. That'd be better.
Okay. So I'm going to take up a right lead, and I'll show you how this workout would go, okay? So right here, I'm going to go from the indirect turn to the right lead, okay? Now it's really important where I'm going next. Make sure you pick a point and you go straight to it when you go out of these turns. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to back, indirect, back, indirect, and now I would pick a point and go straight to you guys to lope off. See how I'm in a right lead position right here? Then I could go straight to you guys to lope. All right? That's the whole point of this. So I'm going to come through here, indirect, and I'm going to lope. Now he turned over right away. He curled right around and fell down. So I'm going to go indirect turn. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go indirect turn. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go indirect turn. And I'm repositioning and shifting his weight. Lope off. He curled around. I'm going to shut her down. I'm going to turn. I'm going to back. I'm going to turn. I'm going to load back off. Did you see him push up his back end? That was much better, but now he's pulling on me, right? He tried to tip over again. I'm going to turn. I'm going to back. I'm going to turn. I'm going to back. I'm going to turn. I'm going to load back off. He jumped forward. We're going to shut it down. We're going to back up. We're going to turn. We're going to back up. We're going to turn. We're going to back up. We're going to turn. You guys keep everything right here. Then we'll load back off. Much better. I'm going to pet him. All right? That was way better. I'm going to pet him. So I'm going to turn. I'm going to lope again. He tipped over. I'm going to shut it down. Right here. I'm going to turn. I'm going to back. I'm going to turn. I'm going to back. I'm going to turn. I'm going to back. I'm going to turn. I'm going to lope off. Good. There. Roll him over his hips. Drive him up. Lope straight. Roll him over his hips. Straight. Roll him over his hips. Stop. I'm going to back. I'm going to pet him.
Shoo, it's so windy out. I'm so sorry, guys.
All right. right?
This like the camera's being blown all around.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do to work on getting my horse stood up on his left front. It's gonna look just like that for a long, long, long time. All right? Long time. Okay, to get this horse to stay over here. And it's only when I have a plan in mind for where I'm going next that I can call whether he falls this way or falls that way. Okay? Go ahead.
What if your horse starts getting anxious about all these direct turns, anticipates the lope off before you are ready?
Don't lope. Right? So you saw my horse starts to get a little bit anxious. I can come here, turn, back up, turn. Now I'm gonna wrap my left leg to lope off. I guarantee he's gonna try to pop off. Look, wrong. Set him back, keep my spurs on, set him down. Say, don't do anything. Look, he wanders off. Don't do anything. There. This is why horse training takes a long time. All right? This right here is why